All right, now we are live. Adam, Dr. Mike, how is everybody today?
We're doing great. Thank you. I just had a great experience I want to share with you and the audience. Um, First, a little bit about myself. I am 48 years old. My name is Adam Bremen, and I'm founder of CanDo, and we make delicious protein bars, healthy for you protein bars. And we started the company 3 years ago. Um, and growing up in my whole life, I've had cerebral palsy and use an electric wheelchair for mobility, but I've always had the attitude it's going to be about what I can do. I never focus on what I may or may not be able to do. I just focus on getting things done. And today I had a great experience. I'm out here in Colorado visiting my family, and I had a chance to ride an e-bike for the first time, and um, that was a really, really incredible experience through this organization that helps people with special needs like myself do outdoor activities. And I've been with them for a couple of years now. And in January, I did snow skiing. And just recently, I did whitewater rafting last week. And then this week, I've done some electric biking, which is incredible. And I'd encourage everyone out there to give it a try if you have a chance.
I don't I don't know about you, Mike, but I've never done any three of those things.
Almost like you should have a special segment. Where's Adam now?
Right, exactly. Well, I'm everywhere. When people ask me where I'm from, I tell them we're everywhere. Wherever there's people, that's where I am. And, I'm very, very grateful to be able to do what I can do. And that's where we got the ethos to start our brand, which is Can Do. We started about 3 years ago after I dedicated myself to health and wellness. I was about 80 pounds overweight and hated how I looked and how I felt. And you have that moment in life where you can either shit or get off the pot. And I just needed to make some moves. And so I completely changed my diet. Along with that, got into the pool with a good friend of mine, and we just started working every day. And even to myself, I never put restrictions or constraints about what I can do, but I was actually surprised at my ability to work and walk in the water and do exercises. But I said to my buddy Gabe, I said, Gabe, this is great, but how do we dial it up a notch? And he said, Adam, you really got to change your diet. And so then I really cut carbs and sugars out of my diet, and then just the weight started to come off. And I really just, it was a really a one-two thing. It was like I grew up in sports, and it's like defense. Nobody really likes to play defense, but defense wins championships, right? So I really just hunkered down and just focused on my diet. And then because of the success of my diet and my love for people, my brother and I sat down with a food scientist, and we started with three flavors: chocolate mint, almond butter, and chocolate raspberry, just kind of as a passion project, just to see if we could get out there. And, I said before a few seconds ago how much I love people and just wanted a platform to reach people and inspire people the way that people have inspired me throughout my life.
Well, let me take a step back, Adam, and describe to the audience how we first got in touch. So, I don't know how many years ago, Mike, 8, 10, 12 years ago, you introduced me to the Paleo Solution podcast, Rob Wolf's podcast. And, we started listening to it, or I started listening to it and read his books, and just really loved his material. Was strict paleo for probably 8 years, no longer that strict. Then that podcast transitioned over to the Healthy Rebellion, and on one of those podcasts, Adam, you were on there. It tells your story, and it tells a little bit about Keto Chris then and now Chris now, and I loved the interview so much, and I wanted to try the bars, so I went online and ordered them. And I don't remember what happened. I couldn't figure something out, or I wanted to, I don't know, but I emailed or did a chat, and and it literally called me on my cell phone, and and we've been chatting and talking ever since. And I love the bars. I always have a couple flavors in the office. I have a couple, boxes consistently at home. My oldest son loves them. It takes a couple every time he has a track meet. They're my go-to for to break my fast in the morning. And we've become online and phone friends up until about a month ago when you just surprised us all and popped in our office, right, Mike?
Absolutely. Amazing. Amazing. I remember that interview with Rob and immediately ordered a couple boxes, and the chocolate raspberry, I believe, was the first one I tried. Delicious. Wonderful. Fantastic.
Well, you guys, you really warm my heart, and I always say in our business we're a customer service business number one, a food business second, and people mean everything to me. And for you to take the time and want to try our bars and enjoy them is really, it fills my cup, you know, to the tenfold. As excited as you are, I was so excited to be able to have your cell phone, Dr. Noah, and to keep that relationship. It's everything to me. So, it's really something special. And, that's just me. That's what I do. And, an interesting story about Rob Wolf, he's good friends with, and I don't know how much time or if you want me to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
into it.
no, you can because it's really super interesting. You might as well touch on your father a little bit too because that's interesting too. You might as well go for
Yes.
it, buddy.
Yes, I'll be happy to share. So, my dad was this bigger than life personality. And, guys, if you get a chance out there and you're listening to the podcast, I encourage you to pull up The Great Imposter in Me. So, as a hobby, my dad was a sports imposter. I grew up a sports nut. And my brother's my heart, my sister's my soul. And my parents always encourage us to just go out there and do things, have a good time, do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. So my dad, as a joke and a hobby, and again, never to hurt anybody, broke into sporting events, and he started to do that in the late '70s, and then he got on Johnny Carson and was a semi B plus C plus celebrity, if you will, and then sadly in 2011 he was diagnosed with, or 2010 he was diagnosed with cancer and then passed away in 2011. Uh, and obviously that's extremely tough. But the point of the story is, my dad, after I was born, my parents wanted to have more kids, so they went to a fertility clinic to see if they were all good and it was safe to have more children. And sure enough, they said, Barry, you've got good swimmers. You're a good looking guy. There's a lot of people that have trouble getting pregnant. Would you be willing to donate your sperm to the clinic? And oh, by the way, every time you come in, we'll give you a little small stipend. So my dad was a breadwinner for the family and loved people. You'll see this in the documentary. Just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And so he donated his sperm for several years. And about 3 years ago, we get a registered letter from this girl named Rebecca Wood saying, I don't want to alarm you, but I did a 23andMe test, and it turns out I'm 49% Ashkenazi Jew. Your dad is my biological father. And oh, by the way, there could be 60 more of us. So over this So over this 3 year time frame, we have met all of these half siblings, if you will. And imagine, guys, meeting your sibling for the first time at 40 years old or 42, whatever age I was, 3 years ago, whatever. And so Rob Wolf happens to be good friends with my technically stepbrother, David Dooley. And so when I met David Dooley, he's like, Adam, you got to talk to Rob Wolf. And so Rob Wolf and I have been friends, and he was kind enough to have me as a guest on his podcast. And, he's a wonderful, wonderful guy and doing many great things in the health and wellness space.
You remember, Mike? You're a smidge older than me. Do you remember the Great Imposter back when he was doing his stuff, his
I do.
shenanigans?
Yeah, going. Was he on the basketball court? Didn't he
Yes.
go on baseball too? Right?
Yeah, did all the major sports. For basketball, he started in the layup line with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and all the other all stars back in the late '70s. Otis Birdsong, and he he was on Johnny Carson, and everybody said, "Well, what are you going to do next?" And he said, "Well, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader thing sounds fun, and he likes pretty girls, and my mom was a beautiful blonde." And so he's like, let me see if I can be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. He did that for about 10 seconds, and then they quickly they quickly whisked him off of the sidelines. And then he did baseball, he did football, he did golf several times. And again, it was never to hurt anybody. It was just to have fun and to see if he could live out a fantasy of being a professional athlete. So
Amazing.
it's really cool. It's
Amazing.
really cool. I'm so fortunate. We are so fortunate to have that footage, so that people like you that didn't get a chance to meet him can watch it and kind of understand, the background story there.
Sure.
Yeah, I can't get enough of that. That you're featured in that documentary too. It's a great. I think it's a great hour. So I guess he was very good friends with Dick Schaap, right?
Yes.
And you remember I'm sure you loved Dick Schaap back in the day, Mike, right?
Oh yeah, he was the voice. Absolutely.
Yes, and Dick Schaap's son, Jeremy Schaap, is still with ESPN, and he's a very, very close friend of our family. Actually, he and my sister and their families hang out all the time in Connecticut, and Jeremy was really the driving force behind helping us get this ESPN thing going. So we are very, very close with Jeremy Schaap, and just wonderful people.
Adam, can you I think I think there's 8 crisp bar flavors now. Can maybe off the top of your head, can you explain some of the differences? Because some of them are plant based, some are whey based, some are collagen based. I personally, my favorite is butter salt. We've discussed that a dozen times. But how about giving our audience a little bit of a broad stroke on how these bars will work for just about anybody and anybody's taste or diet preference?
Yeah, great question. I think we've got 8 bars or so in the 8 or 9. You're going to test me, but it's good to be tested. We're going to start with almond butter. That was our first flavor. Then we've got chocolate mint. Then we've got chocolate raspberry. Then we've got almond butter chocolate chip. Then we've got almond butter blackberry jelly, our first of, I think, 4 plant based. And then we've got peanut butter chocolate chunk. It's a plant based bar. And then we've got the butter and salt, which is a whey based bar, but it has collagen in it. And then, how many have I named, guys? Man. Then we've got dark chocolate almond sea salt, which is a plant based bar. And then, let me see what else we've got. Did I name them all?
I think the new one, peanuts,
Yeah,
peanut.
Yeah, salted peanut butter, terrific flavor. And then we've got a new one coming out that's really going to knock your socks off. It'll be out in about, I don't know, probably a month or so.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm really excited about it, and we really wanted to focus on quality ingredients. It's based on, I think it was great 3 years ago when we launched the brand. We were called Keto Crisp, and it called out exactly what we were. And keto was a very trendy diet. But through we found as we've unpacked and been in the space, keto is still there. But what's really on trend and what we think will be around for a long, long time is low sugar. So we've elevated the brand to be just called CanDo Crisp because we were getting feedback that, hey, I'm not keto. I don't need to eat your bar. Well, you don't have to be keto or follow any diet. You just have to understand the benefits of low carb and low sugar. And you have to have a palate for great tasting food. Now, I know that food is subjective and taste is subjective, and I appreciate that. That's why we always want to drive sample and just get people to try it.
Yeah, I think that the change was wise. Not that keto, keto's just it still works for a ton of people, but it is just slightly too trendy. You know,
Yes,
that's all. That's it.
yeah, no, we wanted to keep compete with the legacy brands of the world, and we felt, because of the incredible response and reviews that we have on Amazon and our core customers, that we definitely don't want to alienate all the keto folks out there. It certainly has done miracles for myself, and there are studies that show that the keto diet is terrific for cancer. It's great for diabetics, and there are a lot of benefits to it. So but we want to build a bar and build a community for the masses. So we just thought that it would be great to transition just to CanDo Crisp, because with the bar we're really excited, as equally excited, I will say, with the mission of being the CanDo company. And really, that's what I get most excited about, is the ability to cheer and to amplify people's can-do stories. And for Dr. Michael over here, I'm going to ask him what his biggest can-do moment is. I already know Noah's can-do moment because he shared it in an incredible video that I still have today, and I watch it from time to time. So, Dr. Michael, if I was going to ask you, what is your biggest can-do moment? What are you most proud of?
Um, let's see. There's quite a few, but the biggest one off the top of my head was my wife is a pastry chef. I weighed 300 pounds. I now weigh 200 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I was discovered Rob Wolf's Paleo Solution book in early 2000s, 2008 or 2009, and managed to lose and keep off that 100 pounds. So,
Great. Now
yeah.
tell me more about that transition. How did it start for you? I mean, for me, it was like I said, I either need to shit or get off the pot. Uh, Tell me about that day for you, and what was really the thing that kept you going.
What was really important was want to be an active participant in my children's life. I wanted to coach. I was an athlete growing up. My undergraduate degree was in exercise science. I love to teach. I love to coach, love to educate. And I couldn't do any of those things. My knees hurt, my feet hurt, my ankles hurt, my hips hurt. Everything hurt. And I just decided that it was time, and I was able to coach my children in little league, both in soccer, baseball, softball, and have managed over the past almost 20, 15, 20 years to keep off that weight.
Wow, that's incredible. What advice would you give to somebody that was in your situation to get started?
Just start. Just start. Little steps all start to add up. Little tiny micro steps in that direction. And if you fall, get up. It's okay. We all fall forward, and it's okay. It's really important that you put in the effort. I think it was. Do you remember, Noah? Was it Guy Reichman, the president of Life College? Like, be an active participant in your own life.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah.
so profound words. Be an active participant in your life.
It is amazing. And Adam, like, you are an inspiration to people worldwide. Not just for starting your company, which is extremely successful, but as someone who has a disability and you decide at a age that I'm going to start to pay attention to this. I want to do something special. What was your can do moment? Like, what was that moment that you decided?
Great question. So let me backtrack a little bit and give you some more background about the business. I said before in the start of this interview that my brother's my heart and my sister's my soul. And growing up, like since I wasn't able to participate in sports like every normal kid would, or supposed there's no normal, but traditional situation, I would always cheer for my brother Noah. And thank God he was good at sports and still great at sports. And we are, when I say one heart, we are literally one heart. And he's been in the consumer packaged goods space for 30 years on the representative side of brands. And in 2016, he was involved in a home invasion. Somebody actually broke into his house and he got shot. He had no idea the guy had a gun, and he went to protect himself and his now wife. And the guy backed up and shot him. One hit the top of the ceiling of his house, and then one went right through his body. He's doing great now. You would never know it, but he was so badly deconditioned, we couldn't even go out for dinner. He was homebound. And so we had a friend of ours who happens to be a cook, and this is Gabe, our buddy. And Gabe came over a couple nights a week so that we could have a home cooked meal. And then Gabe started to really cook healthy for us. And it was really about an opportunity. I think in life, my biggest can do moment is just taking what life gives you and making the best out of it. So it was really an opportunity that I had with my brother and with Gabe to just really focus on my health and wellness. Before that, tragically, uh, not many people know this, but I lost my wife to cancer in 2015 at the young age of 32. And as you can imagine, that literally broke my heart, and I was, all in pieces. And my dream is to be a father and watch my kids participate in sports and whatever. And right now, you never know in life, but you just have to be resilient, and you have to honor those folks, and you have to be grateful. And I know I'm kind of going off the rails here, but just getting an opportunity to do those things and take care of my health. I always knew how important health was, but never had the opportunity to do things like get into the pool, or watch what I ate. And because I'm always eating out, I'm not very domestic, as far as cooking. So I would eat out a lot, and I enjoy food. It's not like that I'm a junk food eater. I just enjoy, food. And so, I, like with you, Dr. Michael, it was like learning a new language. It was like learning Spanish or French. You just have to learn how to eat right, and you have to have that aha moment where you either got to make changes or you get worse. So that's what it was for me.
Amazing, amazing.
It's the quote that's you said a couple times, and I've actually used it a couple times. It's about what you can do, not what you can't do. That kind of summarizes it all, right? I mean, that really is the whole crux of our conversation today, right?
Yeah. Dr. Noah, can you share with the audience your can do? I'd love to hear it.
I
And
I I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what I said now. I know I watched the video couple a couple times, a couple hundred times already, but
well, that's okay. Come up with another one.
what's my can do moment? Oh, um, the hardest thing I had to go through in my life by far is when I lost my mother to cancer when I was about 32. She's the one that introduced me to chiropractic. She was the one that she just got me on the track of where I am today. And up until her being diagnosed with colon cancer, I didn't take health as serious as I do now. And
Yes.
since she passed, which was like, it was like I say, it was 30 days from diagnosis to death. You know, things have changed dramatically. You know, Mike and I have done a lot more presentations, whether they're in the office, virtually, podcasts, summits, whatever. And that for me, that change pretty much started after my mother died. So that I guess one of my biggest CanDo moments is making a shift and making even a bigger impact when my mother passed. I guess 18, 19 years ago.
You know how proud of you she is right now, and
Oh yeah.
that's the best gift that you can give. Is
Oh,
and I feel the same way. I look at my dad and I look at Rachel, my wife, who, and it sucks that they're not here, but we can't control that. But what we can control is our outlook on life and how we approach things. And so we have the obligation, in my opinion, to live in their honor and to do the things the right way. And your mom, she's ecstatic.
yeah. You know, it's true, and it does, like you said, it does suck. It really does suck, but it caused me to make a lot of changes and help, thousands and thousands of people because of it, for sure.
Yes, and I love that. I love this. I say this all the time, guys. I say cheer for people, and people will cheer for you. And by you guys going on this podcast and doing these presentations, you're a cheerleader for everyone else. And I guess it comes natural to me because that's what I knew, and that gave me so much joy out there cheering for my brother Noah, and cheering for my sister and all my family and friends. You know, it's just you know, it's just how I was raised, with love and support and positivity. So I'm just trying to share that with everyone, and I'm honored that the bar is a platform for that. And because it's our reputation on the line, I'm not going to make a bar that tastes like shit that's not healthy for you. I'm not in it for that. I'm in it to make a positive impact and hopefully change one or two people's life, because so many people took the time for me and they didn't push me in a corner. They knew that I was special, not because of the chair, but because of the heart that I have.
As we wrap this up, Adam, tell us how people can follow your inspirational story, and on top of that, of course, the different ways you can pick up and try the Keto Crisp bars. Of course, if you're listening to this, we have them in the office, but if you want any of the other ways that they're available.
Yeah, certainly you can reach me on social media. Adam Bremen on Instagram, Adam Bremen on Facebook, ADAMBREMEN. And then you can email me directly, adam@tastecando.com. You can visit our website, tastecando.com. You can go to Amazon. You can I already said the website. You can go to your local grocery store. We're in every major retailer locally. I'm always available. Dr. Noah will tell you. I love to take phone calls from people. You can call me directly on my cell phone. I'll give you that number, 602-363-8467. I have no problem. If you want to, trust me with your mouth, then I can trust you with everything I got. So just, I'm just thankful for the opportunity to share our story, and more importantly, understand what our fans' story are, and really be a platform for everybody else.
Any final words, Mike?
I think Adam said it all. Beautiful. Thank you for coming on, Adam. It's a real pleasure. I appreciate you.
No problem, Mike. Mike and Noah, really appreciate you guys. I'm going to call Rob Wolf right now and thank him again for having me on the show, a couple years ago, for introducing me to you guys, and just tell him how much I love him and how much I appreciate him. Guys, thank you so much. And again, we'll see you real soon.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
Thanks, you guys, Adam. Too. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
You too.
Mike,
appreciate it.
You got it.
Thanks, man.